Welcome back. You're still tuned into Halftime Report on CNBC TV18. Well, let's put the focus on Gulfoil International, which is basically the parent company of Gulfoil Lubricants. Mike Jones, the global CEO of Gulfoil International, is with us to discuss their India business and decode opportunities in the EV space. Mike, thank you very much for joining in. Well, let's start with the broader outlook. What are your plans for India? Where do you see India as a market right now?
India is the cornerstone of our Gulf business across the world. We operate in over 100 countries, and India is our biggest automotive business. The impressive thing about the team in India is that they're growing 2 to 3 times the market rate. And of course, India is a really good place to be at the moment. It's a good economy, lubricants still growing. And the very fact that we've managed to reach number 2 position of international brands is really credit to the team.
Well, since your optimism about India is so high, and so is the world's, to be very honest, let's talk numbers. What are the kind of investments that you're planning in India over the next 2 to 3 years? What's the kind of capex that we can expect here?
Well, I think in terms of any of our lubricants business, the most important investment we make is in our brand. You know, Gulf is a great brand. It's been around for over 100 years. We've got very good manufacturing facilities here, a very good network, a very good team. So we'll continue to do that. And of course, invest in our ambassadors. The other thing that we're investing in, of course, is the future. So we don't close our eyes to the electric vehicle, which is on its way. In fact, we welcome it. And so we've made some significant investments in the electric vehicle space. The great thing about being a global company is that we can use the technology globally. But actually, we've made an investment in a DC charging manufacturer in India by the name of Tyrex. So we're hoping to take that to the UK. And actually, as we start to move forward, we will also use some of the technology from Europe and bring that to India. Overall, in terms of the capex, it's around about $3 to $4 million a year.
Okay, all right, Mike, that point is taken. When it comes to the EV portfolio, how much do you think that will be after, say, 3 to 4 years as a percentage of your entire portfolio?
Well, I guess the adoption of electric vehicles is actually a lot depending on not just in terms of what we do, but the overall infrastructure. You know, we're very keen to be pioneers in this industry. We saw in Europe that the sale of electric vehicles has started to slow down a little. So a lot of it will depend on government policy, the way in terms that we roll out our business. But for sure, you know, there will be a turning point where electric vehicles will be dominant, and we have to be ready for that.
What's your share in the EV space when it comes to market share, especially in India? Could you give us a sense?
Well, I think in terms of electric vehicles, it really depends in terms of which channel you look at. Of course, in the UK, for home chargers, we have a market share of around about 12%, and we're very keen to do that. In India, we're just starting to grow our business. We've made the initial investments. Of course, we're focusing more on the B2B at the moment. So certainly like the bus chargers, the last mile delivery vehicles. And that's very much where our investment is going.
Right, fair enough. In terms of growth, what are you looking at in the next 3 to 4 years down the line? What is the growth that you're probably seeing in lubricants market both globally as well as in India?
Well, that's a great question, because actually India, as you know, the market grows 2 to 3%. We've been growing 2 or 3 times that in India. You know, Europe, the market is fairly flat, and we're just starting to see recovery in markets like China. China took a lot longer to recover post-COVID than I think any of us thought it would be. But for Gulf, we're seeing significant growth in Latin America and the Middle East, and we're really excited about what the future holds.
All right, excited about what the future holds with a commitment to growing 2 to 3 times industry volume. Wish you good luck. Looking at 14 to 16% as the next leg of margin expansion as well. So that's Gulfoil International, of course, the parent of the listed Gulfoil Lubricants in India. Take a short break, come back. We get you our special segment, Fin Street, on the other side.